Imagine waking up one morning and realizing an entire day is just gone. Not just for you, but for everyone on Earth. That's what happened on May 10th. We all woke up on May 11th, and the day before was just a void, a collective black hole in our memories. The world called it the blank day. News channels were chaos. Scientists offered theories from solar flares to mass psychological events. But after a while, with no answers and no apparent harm done, we just accepted it. We moved on. It became a quirky historical footnote, a story to tell our kids. The day the world forgot, except I didn't forget. I remember May 10th. I remember every single horrifying second of it. And that's my curse. It started like any other day. I was a junior data analyst for a global tech firm. Nothing exciting. I got my coffee, went to work, and sat through meetings. Everything was going smoothly at work. Everyone present and working, just like another beautiful day. But around noon, the alerts began. First, it was a whisper on the internal network, a security breach. Then, the whispers became shouts. It wasn't just us, it was everywhere. Power grids flickered. Communication networks went down in sporadic, terrifying waves. The world was being systematically unplugged, just like those fictional scenes in movies, and it's happening in real times. Chaos everywhere. I remember the panic in the streets. People were glued to their phones, but the screens were dead. Cars stopped working. The city ground to a halt. It felt like an invisible hand was squeezing the life out of our technology. My boss, a man who never lost his cool, was pale and sweating, shouting into a satellite phone that wasn't connecting. He told us to go home, to be with our families. Getting home was a nightmare. The subways were frozen. The streets were a gridlocked mess of silent cars. I walked for hours, still could not find a working transport system I could go home with. And that's when I saw them. They weren't alien invaders in silver ships. They weren't monsters. They were us, or they looked like us. They moved through the crowds with a strange, calm purpose, causing the crowd to be scared and confused, same time trying to avoid contact with these strange humans-looking aliens. They didn't speak, they didn't run, they just walked. And where they walked, things just stopped. A man was yelling, trying to start his car, and one of these silent people walked past, and he just froze. His mouth was open mid-yell, but he was completely still, like a statue. It wasn't just him, it was happening everywhere. People just turning off, their eyes vacant, their bodies motionless. I hid, avoiding eye contact with them, looking for a place to get cover as I searched the alleyway. I ducked into an alleyway, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would break through my ribs. I saw them pass by, their faces blank, their movements identical. It was like watching a flock of birds, all moving as one. They weren't violent, they weren't aggressive. They were just erasing us, not killing, but deactivating. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that if they saw me, if they got close, the same thing would happen to me. I made it home. My apartment building was silent. I locked the door, barricaded it with furniture, and hid in the darkest corner of my closet. I stayed there all night, listening to the eerie silence of a city that had gone to sleep. It became even more scary as the silence spread through the night. As I was hiding inside my dark room, scared of the creatures, trying to keep the silence so as not to draw attention of the creatures to where I hid myself, I remember the last thing I saw before I finally passed out from exhaustion: a faint, shimmering blue light that pulsed across the sky, blanketing everything. When I woke up, it was May 11th. My phone buzzed with notifications. The TV was on. A news anchor talking with a confused smile about the blank day. My neighbor was humming in the hallway. Everything was normal. To normal. I ran to my window. The streets were bustling. The cars that had been abandoned were gone. The world was working again, as if the chaos had never happened. At first, I thought I'd had a vivid, terrifying nightmare, a stress dream. But then I saw the scratch on my arm, the one I got from scrambling into that alley. I saw the chair I'd wedged under my doorknob, still in place. It was real, all of it. I tried to tell people. I told my friends, my family. They looked at me with pity. "Honey, you've been watching too many sci-fi movies," my mom said. My therapist suggested it was a manifestation of anxiety. The more I insisted, the crazier I sounded. The world had decided on a comfortable lie. and my truth was an inconvenience. But why me? Why do I remember? For months, I obsessed over this question. I retraced my steps. I went back to my office building. The security logs from May 10th were completely wiped. Not just missing, expertly erased. I dug into my company's work. We handled massive amounts of data, global network infrastructure. And buried deep in some old project files, I found it. A project codenamed Amnemosin, the Greek goddess of memory. It was a government contract, the goal, to develop a broadcast-based neuroinhibitor. A signal that could be sent out to temporarily suppress the formation of new memories in a targeted population. The official reason was for crowd control, non-lethal riot suppression. But the fine print, the theoretical applications, they talked about societal resets, the ability to make an entire population forget a traumatic event. It all clicked into place. They didn't stop the deactivation. They just made us forget it happened. The shutdown, the silent people, the world grinding to a halt, it was real. But the government, or whoever is really in charge, couldn't fix the problem, so they erased it from our minds. They deployed Amnemosin. They hit the reset button on the collective consciousness of the human race. But why did it fail on me? I kept digging. I have a rare neurological condition. A minor one, something I've managed with medication my whole life. It affects how certain neural pathways in my brain process electrical signals. My weird brain chemistry must have made me immune to the memory wiping signal, a 1 in a billion glitch. So now I live in a world of smiling strangers who have no idea what they lost. They don't remember the day we were almost erased. They don't know that the silent, blank-faced things are still out there. I see them sometimes, in the corner of my eye. A face in the crowd that's just a little too still. A person on the bus who doesn't blink. They're watching, waiting, biding their time. The government didn't solve the problem, they just hid it. They put the world on pause, and when they hit play again, they cut out the scary part. But the tape is still running, the thread is still there. And I'm the only one who knows. I'm the only one who remembers May 10th. My memory isn't a curse. It's a warning, and I have to make them listen before they decide to hit the reset button again. Because next time, they might not leave any glitches. Next time, they might erase everything for good. Thanks for watching. If you've ever felt like you remember something everyone else has forgotten, maybe you're not crazy. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the edge of reality. Stay curious.